Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Roisin McKee, Project Director with the Hospitality and Tourism Skills, HATS for short, network, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this webinar for hospitality and tourism employers. The session has been hosted this afternoon jointly with the Department for Communities, Tourism NI and the Springboard Charity to outline new incentives to support you in securing future talent for your business. We're putting the spotlight specifically on the new JobStart Employer Incentive Scheme, the Work Experience Programme and the Department's Strategic Employment Service. And joining us from the Department, we have Roisin Sloan, Tony Leonard and Mary Lamb. We'll also be hearing from Katrina Lennox from Springboard Charity on the sector-specific employability training support, which they offer to complement the schemes that we'll be hearing about this afternoon. The format for the session will be short presentations, after which we'll open up for any questions as part of a panel Q&A. So you can submit your questions directly into the chat function on your screen, and we'll try to cover off as many questions as we can. Some of you have sent in questions as part of your registration, and we'll be picking up those as well. But before we begin, just by way of introduction to the HATS network, which I facilitate, for those of you who are not yet familiar with us, HATS is an employer-led collaboration. It's supported by Invest NI. It was born pre-COVID, and it brings together a strategic group of sector employers, industry associations, and key delivery partners from government and education who've all got a collective interest in helping to attract, to build and to retain a skilled workforce in the sector through collaboration. Our ambition with the HATS network is to ensure that the industry is able to access the skills that it needs to thrive and to compete. And without doubt, our sector has been significantly impacted by the pandemic. And as we begin on the path to recovery and to rebuild, the schemes that we'll be hearing about have the potential to play a key role over certainly the medium and the longer term in helping the industry to develop its future talent pipeline and inspiring people of all ages to consider a career in tourism as one that's viable and a valuable career choice. So it's within that context that we're bringing you this information session to hear about the labour market provision supports that are available to you. So to begin, it's my pleasure to welcome Roisin Sloan, who's Head of JobStart Scheme for Northern Ireland and Labour Market Services. Roisin has responsibility for the successful rollout of the JobStart Scheme and delivery of the refreshed Work Experience Programme and the new Opportunity Guarantee. Roisin, I'm delighted to say, is no stranger to our sector and its skills needs, having worked collaboratively in previous years on sector-specific employability supports. And Roisin, we welcome your time and commitment to working with the sector through the HATS network to host this webinar. And we look forward to welcoming, working with your team and yourself going forward to be able to support the effective implementation of JobStart and the wider schemes as well. So Roisin, over to you.
Thanks very much for the introduction, Roisin, and good afternoon, everybody. And I have to say, it's great to be working back with all of you guys in this sector. It's a fabulous sector to be in, and I'm delighted to be able to come and talk to you today about the JobStart scheme. So just to give you a little overview about the scheme is part of the COVID response. You remember last year that Richie Sunak, the Chancellor, announced a Kickstart scheme in the UK. That wasn't applicable to Northern Ireland, obviously, because we're a devolved administration. So we were going to get money from the Barnett Consequentials to run a similar scheme in Northern Ireland. So we have called our scheme JobStart. Next slide, please. So just to give you an idea of how the scheme works and what cohort it captures. So this is about young people. You know, there's a lot of young people because of COVID are at risk of long-term unemployment in the 16 to 24-year-old category. And we want to try and get them into employment opportunities so that we don't have them falling into long-term unemployment. And that's where you guys come in as employers within this particular sector. The JobStart scheme is similar to Kickstart in that it is for 16 to 24-year-olds. But when we've been designing the scheme, we have varied off some of the the paths that DWP have followed under the Kickstart scheme, and I'll explain those in more detail as we go along. So the JobStart opportunities, as I said, are eligible for 16 to 24-year-olds who are on any of those benefits that are listed on the screen, so universal credit or any of the legacy benefits. We differ slightly here from DWP in that DWP only have the scheme with the young people who are on universal credit. I felt that was going to discount a lot of young people in Northern Ireland and wanted to open it wider than just universal credit clients. So we have opened it up to all of those who are on other legacy benefits and also young people who are NEET. And that's for young people who are facing multiple barriers and who are deemed as not in employment, education or training. So I wanted to include those young people as well to make sure that we included as many young people in this scheme in Northern Ireland as we could. We do have quite a high rate of youth unemployment in Northern Ireland, sitting around 12% at the moment. So we wanted to make sure we did something that incorporated all of those young people. So an additional support is also available for young people with disabilities, those who are young people in care, looked after children, and also those young people who are in the criminal justice system. And the additional support takes the form of increasing the 6-month job opportunity to 9 months for those particular groups. And that's in recognition that the young people who fall into those categories have more barriers to face than normal young people. So we've extended the scheme on that basis. We're up with a couple of different departments in terms of running out a few pilot schemes. We're on the pilot scheme for young people with disabilities within our own department, and we're going to bring in 15 young people with disabilities into the Department of Communities, where they'll get a 9-month opportunity, a quality opportunity that will really help them on their way to full-time employment. We're working with the Department of Health in terms of looked after children and young people in care. We're working across the trusts as well. And we're creating a pilot of 60 job opportunities for young people who fall into that cohort as well, again in recognition that they do have lots of barriers to overturn. And we're also working with the Department of Justice in terms of young people who are coming out of the prison system. So I mean, some of our needs could be in the prison system because they've fallen out of school early and they've got into the wrong groups or fallen into drugs and things like that, and we think these young people deserve a second chance and we want to try and give that to them. So how we're going to do that with the Department of Justice, that we're going to start those young people into a JobStart opportunity. We're still in the prison system, and they'll go out in day release to an employer and come back to the prison system in the evenings, where they'll be put into a JobStart bubble, obviously because we're still in a COVID situation as well. So they'll be put into a bubble within the prison, and that's how we're going to make it work. And really excited about this one in terms of how we can make JobStart help those young people to stop reoffending. So that's a really exciting project on the side of the whole of the JobStart scheme. So just making you all aware of all of these different groups we're working with, and if you guys feel you've got any sort of opportunities within your business to help any of these particular groups as well, we'll give you the full support you need, and we'll also give you the extra 3 months of employment with these young people. So the JobStart scheme itself then is open to employers of all shapes and sizes. Okay, so any employer can take part in the scheme. We will pay 100% of the relevant national minimum wage for 25 hours per week. If you want to employ for more than 25 hours a week, that's fine, but an employer will meet the cost of the 25 plus hours per week. We also pay the associated employer national insurance contributions for the young person and any minimum automatic enrolment contributions. So if there's any pensions or anything like that to be paid as well, then we will pay those as well. We'll also pay at a higher rate in terms of the young person. So if the young person has an age change during the 6-month or 9-month opportunity, we will pay at the higher rate from the start. And 2 reasons for that: one, that we don't want to get caught out with national minimum wage and paying below the wage, and also it's a nice benefit to the young person as well to be getting a little bit extra from the start of the scheme. How we slightly differed from DWP is that in DWP initially they had gateway organisations in place, and it meant that sort of smaller businesses had to hook up with a gateway organisation and had to wait until 30 opportunities were available before the employer could avail of the scheme. We haven't done that at all here. We have left this completely open to all employers of all shapes and sizes, and really recognising that Northern Ireland is quite a small employer economy as well, and about 70 or 80% of our employers are small businesses. So we really didn't want to discount those from the scheme or put any barriers in employers' way. So in terms of the young people themselves, obviously for young people to get an opportunity with employers, we've been very clear with some of the advice groups that have been coming to us, who are worried about exploitation of young people, and advice and I telling us that young people aren't a commodity, and we don't want that to be happening to any of our young people, and we're hoping it doesn't happen in any of our sectors of employment. So we do have good governance procedures in place to make sure that each young person really does get a quality opportunity, because it's all about the quality jobs that are offered to the young people and having a real meaningful experience that the young person can take with them wherever else they go afterwards. We're hoping that you as employers will find that the young person has done so well at the job that you don't want to lose them after the 6 months, and you'll want to keep them because you'll see them as an asset, and we'll be having some conversations around that as well. Although in recognition that the economy in Northern Ireland, that every employer may not be in that position, we do understand that not every employer will be able to do that, but we will be gently encouraging employers towards the end of the process, if they can do that, they should consider doing that. We've also partnered up with the Department for Economy, so there's apprenticeship opportunities out there as well, and we've talked to Economy about how can we create a pathway going for the young person going directly from JobStart to an apprenticeship. There's some financial incentives for employers around the apprenticeship schemes as well, and there's an accredited qualification for the young person at the end of it as well. So we will be having some conversations with employers. So once you sign up to the scheme and you've been accepted onto the scheme, at the end of month 1 and at the end of month 5, we'll be having a conversation with you as the employers in terms of how the young person is doing, and the work coach will be having a conversation with the young person as well in terms of expectations and what they're getting from the scheme. On top of that, then, on top of the national minimum wage payments for the 6 months, we also offer employers a £1,500 startup fee for each young person as well. So how you can spend that money would be on if you needed to buy uniforms for the young person, if you needed to do induction with them, if they needed PPE equipment, if they needed IT equipment to do the job, and also if you wanted to put them through any accredited training, which we would very much welcome in terms of upskilling the young person with accredited training, and also in recognition that you may have to take somebody out of your business to sit alongside the young person and train them up, and we also recognise that there's a cost for employers in doing that as well. So this £1,500 will cover a number of different things, and hopefully that will meet all of your needs. Next slide, please. In terms of how you apply for the scheme then, so employers will apply for the scheme via an online application. So you can go on to NI Business Info and you'll find a link to the JobStart scheme, or you can go on to NI Direct, or you can just go in and Google JobStart Scheme NI, and it'll take you to the links that will get you into the application process. Once your application is made, it comes through to my team who will process the applications. And the application will be considered against criteria to ensure the job opportunities are new quality of jobs. So I'm back to the whole piece about making sure that they're quality opportunities for our young people. We do ask questions around what your recruitment has looked like over the last 6 months, and the reason we do that is that these jobs are not to displace current employees, and nor are they to replace people who may be furloughed. So it's not a case of bringing somebody on the scheme and paying somebody off who's on furlough. So we do a number of checks around that to make sure that isn't the case, because this isn't about displacement. This is about creating quality opportunities for young people who are at risk of long-term unemployment. So once you've made your application and all of the checks have been progressed, if we need any more information, we will write back to you. So I'd ask you to fill out the application as best you can to avoid us having to send it back to you. Also within the scheme, we're asking for employability skills and occupational skills. Now, we've never asked for occupational skills in the past. This is new, and again, it's back to the quality piece. So we'd be asking for 5 occupational skills. So for example, if someone was getting into retail, we wouldn't want them to be stacking shelves for 6 months. So we'd expect to see on that application things like learning how to do the till system, how to provide good customer service, how to work the credit card machine, learning product knowledge, learning how to order stock on behalf of the company. So they're the kind of things we'd want to see onto the occupational skills. So if you make it clear on the occupational skills section exactly what occupational skills you're going to provide, and that would normally be around, you know, the skills in the job description, what you're asking the young person to do, that'll be what that's for. Sorry, we've just got to, just give me. Sorry, there's just a fire alarm here. I'll just turn this off for a second. Sorry about that, everybody. Just Murphy's Law. I thought there's going to be another one there, wasn't sure. Okay, so yeah, so the employability skills are really important, and the occupational skills are. So the employability skills will be things like timekeeping behaviours, all of that kind of stuff. Now we have, alongside the registration process, you will find a guide in terms of how to complete the application process. We're finding from the applications we have so far that a lot of employers aren't following it and they're just filling in the application. So I would advise you to read, I'd strongly advise you to read the notes and the guides that we've put on in terms of how you fill in the application. So if I could ask you all to do that, that would be great. So the job opportunities, and once we complete the application process, this will be a normal recruitment process like you're recruiting for any other job opportunity within your business. The young person is an employee of the business and has the same terms and conditions as anybody else working alongside them while on the scheme. So when it gets to that stage, we advertise the opportunities in Job Centre online. You can decide how long they stay on for, and you will recruit as normal in terms of your recruitment and selection processes. You let us know who you're recruiting for the opportunities, and we'll put everything else in place for you. Before we get to that stage, when we put the vacancies on, then if a young person is interested in the opportunity, they will have a number to ring to talk to a work coach, or they'll do it through their journal if they're on universal credit, and the work coach will have a conversation with the young person to make sure they're a good fit. And that they're work ready. JobStart is all about being work ready. Anyone who isn't work ready should be on JobStart and won't be accepted on. They'll go a step before that, and Tony will come on to that in a few minutes in terms of the work experience scheme. Once the work coach has decided that they're work ready, then the young person will be given the details in terms of how to apply for the scheme. The scheme was launched on the 2nd of April, and because we launched later than expected, we're due to close in December, but we're going to stay open for applications until the 31st of March next year. So anybody joining the scheme on the 31st of March will still be able to see out their 6 months or their 9-month placement opportunity, which means the scheme will end around September 22 or December 22. So that's just basically an overview, and happy for any questions at the end of the session. So without further ado, I'm going to pass you on to my colleague Tony Leonard, who works on my labour services side of the business. He's going to talk about work experience programmes. So over to you, Tony.
Thank you, Roisin. The Work Experience Programme, WEP, is the acronym, aims to offer quality work experience placement opportunities to job-ready unemployed people of all ages whose needs and aspirations are best addressed by active participation in a work setting with an employer or a voluntary organisation. Now, to be eligible for WEP, people must be aged 18 to 65 years old or 18 to 24 years old for Opportunity Guarantee. I'll go through that in the next slide. Be in receipt of either Universal Credit, Job Seekers Allowance, Employment Support Allowance or Income Support, and actively seeking employment, or be actively seeking employment if unemployed and not claiming benefits. Placements will be voluntary for participants, and employers will not make any payments to the participant. Participants will receive an incentive payment of £10 per day from the Department for Communities, and the employer will receive a grant payment of £250 at the end of the first week of the placement, and may also receive funding of up to £100 for certain costs incurred as a result of taking the placement on. Employer advisors based in local jobs and benefits offices or client executives for early engagement with public sector or large private sector employers are responsible for all interactions with employers, including promoting the programme when they are in contact with an employer and sourcing opportunities. Opportunities can be sourced to build a bank of placements which work coaches will search through for interested persons, or an employer advisor may approach an employer to source an opportunity to meet the needs of a specific person. Businesses of all sizes can offer work experience placements, and employers will be asked to sign an employer agreement setting out the terms and conditions of the programme prior to offering placements. Employer advisors will discuss the details of the agreement with the employer and answer any questions they may have. There are a range of benefits for your business to taking someone on work experience, including an opportunity to develop the supervisory and management skills of your workforce. It can enhance your public profile through supporting your local community and contributing to economic development in your local area. You'll be directly contributing to the development of people's employability skills and career aspirations. You can access the local labour market and explore a pool of hidden talent, people who offer enthusiasm and a fresh perspective to your business. You can engage with someone on work experience on a trial basis before signing a contract of employment. Next slide. The Department for Communities have also introduced Opportunity Guarantee as an additional strand under the Work Experience Programme, specifically for those aged 18 to 24. This is aiming to tackle expected high levels of youth unemployment as a result of the COVID pandemic. This will provide young people with the chance to gain an extended period of work experience with an employer who will offer them an interview for a job or apprenticeship at the end. These opportunities may also link with a JobStart opportunity if the employer takes on the young person after the placement ends. For employers to be eligible to offer Opportunity Guarantee placements, they need to have signed an employer agreement, be willing to host a participant for a period of 13 weeks, be in a recruitment position, and willing to offer participants an interview for a job or apprenticeship. Employers can receive an additional £250 payment upon completion of the placement. That's me, Roisin.
Thanks there,
Okay,
Tony.
thanks.
Thanks, Tony, and Roisin for that overview of the new supports and the employer incentives. Certainly excited by the opportunities, not only just for the young people, but also for our sector. It's a great opportunity for businesses to be able to attract in new young talent that comes with fresh ideas and ways of thinking, with a view, certainly for us in the sector, in terms of forging a valuable career in this industry. Just a reminder, I know there are questions that are starting to come in, so please do, if you've questions that have been prompted by any of the presentations so far, please put them into the chat function. Next up, we'll hear from Mary Lamb, who again, I'd like to say thank you to, who stepped in just very much last minute for a colleague who wasn't able to join us today. And Mary's going to introduce the Department's Strategic Employment Service. Mary, thank you, and say over to you now at this stage.
Thank you, Roisin. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to have an opportunity to talk to you today about our service called the Strategic Employment Service. And basically, it's really an employer engagement service that we offer to allow employers to hear about the services and programs that our department can offer to them. So I'm going to talk you through what the service is about, and we have split it into our strategic employer offer and then our strategic employer ask. So just to talk you through our offer, basically it's really a service that will help employers recruit and retain staff, and it also provides you with access to any of our Department for Community Provision and wider services with our partners that we have as well. We very much see this offer as a gateway to for large and public sector employers to access and understand employability provision around our department through our dedicated client executive team. I have a a team of 4 client executives who are centrally located, and they cover all across Northern Ireland, and they engage with employers across all different sectors, and they have employers allocated to them on a sectoral basis. And we actually have an employer, a client executive called Aidan Cunningham, who looks after our hospitality and tourism sector as well. So he will be available to talk to you if any of you want to hear more about the service that I'm going to talk you through today. So really what we do is we offer advice and tailored packages to support every employer that we engage with, depending on their needs. So it's really around their staff recruitment needs and any retention needs that they have. And we want to build good relationships with employers so that we get to understand their business and see what we can do through our own services and programs to help them, and also through our wider partners. And we'll also work with employers to try and secure some social value commitment from those employers. And I'll talk to you a wee bit more about that in the next slide. So the offering that we have, you know, each client executive is really your gateway in, your one-to-one person who will offer you advice on your recruitment, any provision that we have, and will get you into access to our programs. We will also work and connect you to any partners that we work with, so that you can get to hear about any of their services and provision that might be of interest to you. We can offer a free job promotion service across our employers online and Job Centre online websites, and we can outreach and promote your opportunities to a fairly wide partner outreach, allowing a lot of people then to see what you have to offer in terms of jobs, and to get you as wide a interest in your opportunities as possible. We can also work with you to manage your vacancies, and we can organise further to be client matching and sifting and arranging interviews if you want. We can get you involved in some of the recruitment events that we offer. So we're talking about things like Meet the Employer events, things like mini job fairs, large regional job fairs, and really to get you in front of people who might be interested in your opportunities, and for them to talk to you directly as well. And there's also a redundancy support service available through the department that employers can avail of if they're in that position. So next slide then, please. So I talked to you in the previous slide really about what we could offer you. What we're hoping to do now through the Strategic Employment Service is to also to seek employer commitment to social value to those who have barriers to work. This is almost like an ask of you. It's still a fairly new concept for us, but we're trying to achieve some opportunities that will be available to people who have barriers to work. And ultimately, we'd love to get to a stage where we have a strategic or a partnership agreement with employers that would look at what we can offer to do to support you as an employer, but what you can also offer us in return to help those people who are furthest away from the labour market. So again, we're looking as a strategic team to work at scale with employers to source opportunities that could be part of corporate social responsibility, set up some employer agreements if we can, and each of those agreements will be bespoke to each of your organisations. So examples of some of the social value commitments that we'd be looking at to ask if you would be for you to participate in the like of the JobStart opportunities that Roisin has spoken to you earlier, the work experience opportunities that Tony has already talked you through there. If you would be in a position even to have some guaranteed interview schemes where people furthest from the labour market would be guaranteed an interview with your organisation. Participating in some health related or diversity campaigns. We did one recently there for the care sector where we work closely on a campaign for that sector to try and fill some of the vacancies that they have there. Even if you're able to offer advice or mock interviews and that sort of thing for job seekers to help them on their journey into work. And obviously would want to set some targets for diversity within your recruitment, and possibly even go as far as ring fencing posts if that was appropriate, to allow us again to help that cohort who need a wee bit of a helping hand and maybe remove some barriers to get them some experience and get them into work. So if we could have the next slide, please. So just if you're interested in hearing more about the service that I've talked to you about there today, there will be a follow-up pack that we'll issue to you after the event today. Within that pack, there will be a couple of things. First of all, there will be a client executive profile document, which will outline again in summary the service that I've spoken to you about today. And it will link you up with Aidan Cunningham, who is our client executive specifically for the hospitality and tourism sector, with his contact details. We will also include an employer self-referral form. So if you want to hear more about our service, if you complete that and fire it back to us, we will get Aidan or one of our other client executives to reach out to you and discuss your needs and help you along your journey. So thanks very much for your interest and time today, and hoping to hear from you very soon. Thank you.
Mary, thanks very much for that really informative overview of the service, and I'm sure that it will be very welcome support to many employers in terms of being able to get access to the wide-ranging recruitment support from the department. And as Mary has noted, we will be sending on details and contact details along with the slides that follow. So next up on our agenda, if I can now invite Katrina Lennox, recently appointed Northern Ireland Manager with the Springboard Charity, to share with us how they can support sector-specific employability training. Springboard brings a wealth of experience in supporting young people entering our industry, and the recent addition of Katrina to the Springboard team in Northern Ireland brings a very capable and a very passionate ambassador for our sector, for those that know her. And she's certainly someone who lives and breathes hospitality. Katrina, we'll hear from you now. Thanks.
Thank you. That was a lovely introduction, Roisin. Thank you very much. I'm obviously delighted to have the opportunity to talk to you all today about the role which Springboard can play in your business, specifically in relation to the training support that Springboard can offer you to comply with the JobStart scheme. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about the Springboard Charity, we're an organisation which solely concentrates on attracting, mentoring, supporting and training young people into this wonderful hospitality industry of ours. And with over 30 years experience, Springboard are best placed to partner with you regarding the JobStart scheme and the training programme required to comply with the JobStart scheme. As a charitable organisation, our vision and actions all lead to future-proofing the talent pipeline for hospitality, leisure and tourism. Next slide, please. With our Springboard mission being to encourage and inspiring young people to choose the industry as a real career choice and to transform the lives of those young people, some of whom may even have barriers to employment, and to provide them with information and advice, as well as free employability and occupational training, opening doors to young people to get them into your business and generally promoting the industry as a great place to work. Next slide, please. As a national charitable organisation, Springboard has a huge impact on those choosing to enter the hospitality, leisure and tourism industry. Almost 17,000 students engaged with us in the year 2019 to 2020 and benefited from our education programmes. Over 2,000 young people were supported through employability programmes, getting them ready for business, your business and industry as a whole. And over 54,000 people were helped through one-to-one advice, through guidance, ranging from helping with CVs, interview skills, job opportunities, and introductions to our hospitality business network. Next slide, please. You look at this and you'll think, oh my goodness, I can't even read it. And I suppose you'll wonder why I've even got it up there in the first place. But what that slide represents, and every single one of those bubbles represents a job role within the hospitality, leisure and tourism. So that's testimony to the enormity and the various roles available currently within our hospitality industry. And the new JobStart roles that you and your business are going to create are going to make that slide even bigger and lots more bubbles. So that I really just put that up there just to really show you the enormity of the different roles within our industry. Next slide, please, Barry. So on to the JobStart Programme. An amazing opportunity for businesses to engage in this scheme. In my opinion, it's an absolute no-brainer. It's a scheme to solve, not to solve current vacancies, but it's definitely wants to more medium and long-term success for your business and for your talent pipeline. Attracting and training and retaining staff has always been a key challenge for the hospitality industry, and this has been exacerbated further as a result of the pandemic. The sector has lost both permanent and casual staff, and now with the industry reopening, many businesses are faced with recruiting staff back into the sector. Our duty as an industry is to bridge that gap and to give young people a long and successful career. Although the scheme, with the JobStart scheme, is quite regulated, that's actually a good thing because it's going to help protect your business and it's going to help protect the young 16 to 24-year-old person that you have engaged with. It's fully funded, so why would you not avail of the opportunity, and why would your business not want to take part in it? The department will want to see and approve a robust training plan before the funding is released, and Springboard can do all the training experience to help your business develop a robust plan for each new JobStart role. You will be required to show this to the department as proof of your engagement in the scheme. Yes, it's applicable to new roles, and no, don't let that put you off applying. Businesses are adapting and changing in light of the new COVID environment, and pre-existing roles have had to be adapted and new roles have had to be created to meet business demand. And Springboard can help you with these multi-functional roles, for some positions have had to be combined, thereby creating new roles across our new and whole sector, both back and front of house. Next slide, please. So business commitment. So where do you as a business and where does your commitment lie? Well, you are going to be responsible for recruiting, committing and supporting the young person to ensure that you give them an opportunity to develop their employability skills that Roisin referred to in her slide, should they not be retained after the 6 months. Springboard will, if this is the case, provide aftercare and further support the young person should you be unable to retain them in your business. After undergoing a robust 6-month training programme, we would hope that the retention rates are going to be high. Our industry will go from strength to strength and expand. So let's use this scheme as a good opportunity to train and develop and create a pipeline for your business to meet future demand. To help business develop employability skills, they will receive up to £1,500 for each new recruit. And Roisin also referred that in her slide on what that £1,500 covers. The training will be conducted, so the training is part of the £1,500. It will be conducted and will cover elements of employability and those essential occupational skills that the young people are going to need to be successful within the hospitality. It will create real quality training needed for your business. Without this scheme, no business will be able to afford the level of training that you're going to be able to do with this amount of money. So why would you not grasp it with both hands? Allow Springboard to help and advise you and together develop a training plan for each young person, ensuring that you have the best possible training to deliver the best possible service for your business. Next slide, please. How can Springboard Charity help you? We can help with the application process, and Roisin also referred to that there's a guide available to help with the application process. Springboard can also help you with that. We can assist with the recruitment process. We can provide you with the required training plan and job templates that the department are going to want to see as proof of evidence. We can offer you the employability induction training. We will deliver the employability and occupational skills training in line with the 6-month training plan. And we will also provide you with the monthly employer report that the department is also going to require for auditing and certification of participation upon completion. Should the young person not be retained in your business for whatever reason after the 6 months, Springboard will continue to support that young person, do whatever other training needs to be done, and with the view of finding them an alternative suitable role. So they will not be left without anything. Next slide, please. The training that Springboard will do will be a mix of blended learning offers, live teaching whenever the pandemic allows us to do so, and online modules and recorded webinars. We, or Springboard rather, have two plan options. One's the 6-month training plan and the other is a standalone training plan. The 6-month training plan is end-to-end training. It encompasses everything that you will need your new start to receive to get ready for your business and to deliver the services required to your business. It encompasses, you know, training, upskilling, and all the employability skills and all the occupational skills that are detailed there on the slide. The other plan is a standalone training plan, which concentrates predominantly on soft skills and also delivering those all-important employability skills and the 5 mandatory occupational skills that the department also referred to in the earlier slide. So really you have 2 options. Springboard can give you 2 options. We can do the full 6 months from start to finish and everything in between, or you have the option of going for the standalone, and both really will depend on what your needs and what your business needs are in terms of the training requirements. Next slide, please. The costings, so Springboard will charge £150 for application support, £150 should you need any recruitment support, and then the 2 training plan options is a 6-month training plan at £12.88 and the standalone training plan at £580 per person. And again, those really depend on what your business requirements and what your needs are. The 6-month training plan, as I said, goes through and will take them through an induction, all the employability skills, health and safety, food safety, COSH, fire safety, everything you'll ever need to know. And the 5 occupational skills, which could be, you know, working behind the bar, creating cocktails, coffee culture, housekeeping, bartending, just whatever was needed. And the standalone training plan is just a shorter version of that. Next slide, please. In summary, I think this is an absolutely golden opportunity for the hospitality, leisure and tourism businesses to develop their talent pipeline and plan for the future. Investment in a training package will undoubtedly reap rewards. It will allow you to concentrate on growing your business, making money, keeping the customers happy, coming back and back and back again, and allowing Springboard Charity to do all the training so your people are there and your staff are there to provide the service. It is an opportunity for hospitality, leisure and tourism sectors to showcase the amazing opportunities that they have to offer young people, irrespective as to their background or their academic capabilities. Your business has access to this funding and the opportunity to buy in the resources to do all the training you need. The JobStart role will allow you to, you know, make, as I said, make money, to do what you do best, and let Springboard do the training and do the necessary training bit in order for your JobStart person to be successful within your business. Thank you very much. That's me. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Rasheen.
Thanks, Katrina, for a very engaging presentation there. And as you say, this is a golden opportunity for our industry to be able to build that future talent pipeline. And it's important that we see the investment in training for the young person to ensure that they actually get a good quality experience. Roisin from the Department for Communities outlined, obviously, in her presentation that there is financial support to employers with the startup cost in terms of being able to support training. And Springboard is there as one of the options if a business wants to take on external provider to be able to support them with that. Although important just to note that there's not a requirement of the scheme from the department to specifically engage an external provider, but certainly that investment in the young person's training is key and is critical.